Good morning, it's Friday, February 21st, and we've got quite a lineup of cybersecurity stories today that you'll want to hear about. Russian hacking groups have found a clever way to exploit Signal's linked devices feature to spy on encrypted conversations. The FBI and CISA are sounding the alarm about a ransomware strain called Ghost that's hitting organizations worldwide. And North Korean hackers are running an elaborate scheme targeting freelance developers through fake job interviews. These stories highlight just how creative cyber threats have become. So let's dive in and break down what you need to know. In a concerning development, Mandiant's threat hunters have uncovered multiple Russian hacking groups exploiting a clever vulnerability in Signal's messaging platform. Now, this isn't your typical encryption hack. Instead, these groups are taking advantage of Signal's linked devices feature, which normally lets you use Signal on multiple devices simultaneously. Here's how the attack works. The hackers create convincing phishing pages that look identical to legitimate Signal group invites or device pairing instructions. When unsuspecting users scan these malicious QR codes, they're actually authorizing the hackers' devices to be linked to their Signal accounts. Once that connection is established, every message sent through Signal gets duplicated to the attacker's device in real time. What makes this particularly worrying is that these Russian groups are specifically targeting high-value individuals. We're talking military personnel, politicians, journalists, and activists. These are exactly the kind of people who rely on Signal's encryption for sensitive communications. The threat isn't limited to Signal either. Mandiant reports that similar techniques are being used to target other popular messaging apps like WhatsApp and Telegram. In some cases, they've even seen the notorious Sandworm group applying these tactics on devices captured from Ukrainian battlefields. The good news is, there are ways to protect yourself. Signal users should regularly check their linked devices list for anything suspicious, enable screen lock with a strong password, and be extremely cautious about scanning any QR codes, even if they appear to come from trusted contacts. A major cybersecurity alert was just issued jointly by the FBI, CISA, and ISAC about a ransomware variant called Ghost, or sometimes known as Kring. This ransomware operation has been hitting organizations across more than 70 countries, targeting everything from critical infrastructure to schools and hospitals. What's particularly interesting about Ghost is how they're getting into networks. They're not doing anything fancy. They're simply exploiting old, unpatched vulnerabilities in internet-facing systems. Once they're in, they move surprisingly fast. In some cases, they've gone from initial breach to deploying ransomware in less than 24 hours. The Ghost operators have a pretty clever approach to staying under the radar. They constantly rotate their ransomware files, switch up the file extensions they use for encrypted files, and keep changing their ransom notes and contact emails. They're primarily using the Cobalt Strike penetration testing tool for their attacks, but here's the catch. They're using an unauthorized version of it. Perhaps the most notable aspect of Ghost's operations is that they tend to bail quickly if they hit any serious security measures. If they can't move laterally through a network because of proper segmentation, they often just move on to easier targets. It's a reminder that basic security measures really do work. The advisory lays out some crucial steps organizations should take right now. Keep offline backups, patch those known vulnerabilities quickly, segment networks properly, and require phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication for all privileged accounts. These basic steps could make the difference between being Ghost's next victim or not. In a concerning development, North Korean hackers are running an elaborate scam targeting freelance software developers, particularly those working in cryptocurrency and decentralized finance. Security researchers have dubbed this campaign Deceptive Development, and it's been active since late 2023. Here's how it works. The hackers create fake recruiter profiles on platforms like Upwork, Freelancer.com, and even specialized crypto job boards. They reach out to developers with what appears to be legitimate job opportunities, often involving cryptocurrency projects or blockchain-based games. The twist comes when they share supposedly legitimate code bases hosted on GitHub or GitLab for the interview process. These hackers are deploying two particularly nasty pieces of malware called Beavertail and Invisible Ferret. Beavertail acts as the initial downloader, while Invisible Ferret does the heavy lifting, stealing cryptocurrency wallets, login credentials from browsers, and even data from password managers. What's particularly brazen about this campaign is how sloppy it is. The attackers aren't being particularly careful about hiding their tracks. They're leaving development notes and testing IP addresses in their code. They're clearly more focused on quantity over quality, trying to compromise as many developers as possible to increase their chances of stealing valuable crypto assets. The campaign has hit developers worldwide, with significant activity reported across multiple countries including the US, India, Russia, and several European nations. It's part of North Korea's broader strategy to shift from traditional financial crimes to cryptocurrency theft. Today we've covered some major cyber threats that highlight just how creative and persistent threat actors have become. From Russian hackers exploiting Signal's linked devices feature, to ghost ransomware targeting organizations worldwide, to North Korean hackers running elaborate job interview scams. The message is clear. We all need to stay vigilant. That's all we have this morning. Remember, folks, the basics still matter. Keep your software updated, use strong passwords with multi-factor authentication, and always be skeptical of unsolicited messages, even if they look legitimate. Be especially careful with QR codes, job offers that seem too good to be true, and any requests to download or run unknown software. Thanks for joining me for another cup of cyber. Stay safe, stay vigilant, stay secure, and I'll catch you next time.